I am 84 years old, and I just realized I never met myself. You're doing it right now. You're bending. You're shape-shifting. You're saying yes when you mean no. You're laughing at jokes that aren't funny. You're agreeing with opinions you don't hold. You think you're being kind. You think you're being good. You're not. You're disappearing. And by the time you realize it, everyone you performed for will be gone, and you'll be left with a stranger in the mirror. I know this because I looked in that mirror 3 weeks ago, and I didn't recognize the man staring back. When I was young, I was good at being what people needed. Really good. It wasn't manipulation. It wasn't strategy. It was survival. My father was a hard man, the kind who measured love in silence. If you didn't hear yelling, that meant he was proud. So I learned to be quiet. I learned to be easy. I learned to make myself small enough to fit into his expectations. My mother was different. She needed me to be her comfort, her confidant. When my father worked late, I sat with her in the kitchen and listened to her talk about her dreams, the life she could have had. I was 8 years old, nodding like I understood. I became her emotional husband before I even knew what that meant. At school, I was the peacemaker. When kids fought, I was the one who smoothed things over. I made jokes to cut tension. I agreed with everyone just enough that no one ever got angry with me. Teachers loved me. I was polite, respectful. I never caused problems. And it worked. People liked me. I was invited to things. I had friends. I had a girlfriend in high school who told me I was the sweetest boy she'd ever met. I felt proud of that. I thought being sweet meant being good. I thought if I could just keep making people happy, I would matter. I carried that into adulthood like a religion. I went to college and studied what my father wanted me to study: business. I hated it. I wanted to write. I wanted to teach literature. But my father said teaching was for people who couldn't do anything else. And I nodded and changed my major without a fight. I met my wife, Linda, when I was 23. She was strong, opinionated. She knew what she wanted, and I loved that about her because it meant I didn't have to decide. I could just be whatever she needed. If she wanted to go to a party, I went. If she wanted to stay home, I stayed. If she wanted Italian food, I suddenly craved pasta. If she wanted Chinese, I'd always been in the mood for dumplings. Everyone said I was the perfect husband, easygoing, flexible, supportive. I wasn't easygoing. I was hollow. We had 3 kids. I loved them. God, I loved them. But even with them, I performed. My son loved baseball. I hated baseball. I thought it was boring. But I went to every game, cheered at every swing, coached his little league team. I never told him I would have rather been reading. My daughter loved dance. I sat through every recital, smiling, clapping, telling her she was amazing. I never told her that I couldn't tell the difference between a pirouette and a plie, and I didn't care to learn. My youngest wanted me to be tough, strong, a man's man. So I pretended to care about cars and sports and told jokes I didn't find funny just to hear him laugh. I thought I was being a good father. I thought sacrifice meant erasing yourself. At work, I became indispensable by becoming invisible. I agreed with my boss even when he was wrong. I took on projects no one else wanted. I worked late. I never complained. I got promoted because I never made waves. People respected me because I never challenged them. But here's the thing. No one actually knew me. Linda didn't know I wanted to write. My kids didn't know I hated baseball and dance recitals and car talk. My coworkers didn't know I thought half the projects we worked on were pointless. My friends didn't know that when I laughed at their jokes, I was just being polite. I told myself it didn't matter. I told myself that love was sacrifice, that being a good person meant putting others first, that my feelings were less important than keeping the peace. I was 84 years old before I realized I'd spent my entire life as a supporting character in everyone else's story. 3 weeks ago, I was cleaning out the attic. Linda died 2 years ago. The kids are grown. They call sometimes, not often. They're busy. I don't blame them. I found a box of old journals. I'd forgotten I even kept them. I started reading, page after page, year after year. Every single entry was about other people. Dad seemed happy today. I think I finally made him proud. Linda wanted to see that movie. I pretended to like it. She smiled the whole way home. Took the kids to the park even though I wanted to rest. They had fun. That's what matters. Boss praised my work today. I stayed late to finish his report. He didn't say thank you, but he looked relieved. Hundreds of entries, decades of entries, and not once did I write about what I wanted. Not once did I write about who I was. I kept flipping through the pages looking for myself, looking for one moment where I said, "This is what I think, this is what I feel, this is what I want." Nothing. I closed the last journal and looked up. There was a mirror on the attic wall. Old, dusty. I caught my reflection, and I didn't know who I was looking at. I saw an old man, thin, tired, wearing clothes I didn't remember buying. I stared at my face, and I realized I had no idea what I actually liked, what I actually believed, what I actually wanted. I'd spent 84 years building a mask, and now the mask was all that was left. I sat there on the attic floor, surrounded by journals full of other people's happiness, and I cried. Not because I was sad, because I was angry. Angry at myself. Angry at all the years I wasted pretending. You want to know the worst part? The people I sacrificed myself for didn't even notice. Linda loved me, but she loved the version of me I showed her. When she died, I thought about telling her the truth, about the writing, about the things I actually cared about, but I never did. And now she's gone and she died thinking she knew me. My kids love me, but they love a father who doesn't exist. They think I'm passionate about baseball and dance and cars. They have no idea who I really am. And I can't tell them now because it would break something. It would make them question everything. My friends, most of them are dead. The ones who are left still tell the same jokes, and I still laugh, and they still think I find them funny. I made everyone happy, and I am completely alone, not because they left, because I never showed up. Here's what I need you to understand. You think being agreeable makes you lovable. It doesn't. It makes you forgettable. You think putting others first makes you good. It doesn't. It makes you invisible. You think if you just keep giving, people will appreciate you. They won't. They'll get used to it. They'll expect it. And when you're gone, they'll remember a version of you that never existed. I spent my whole life making people happy, and not one of them actually knew me. That's not love, that's performance. Real love requires you to be real. It requires you to show up as yourself, with your actual thoughts, your actual feelings, your actual desires, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it causes conflict, even when people don't like it. Because here's the truth I learned too late. The people who love the real you are the only people worth keeping. And the people who only love your mask, they don't love you at all. They love what you do for them. I lost myself trying to be loved, and I ended up with neither. You're doing this right now. I know you are. You're saying yes when you want to say no. You're pretending to like things you don't like. You're twisting yourself into shapes that fit other people's expectations. You think you're being kind. You think you're avoiding conflict. You think you're building relationships. You're not. You're building a prison. And by the time you realize it, the bars will be so thick you won't remember what freedom feels like. Stop. Stop pretending. Stop performing. Stop sacrificing who you are for the comfort of people who will forget you the moment you stop being useful. I know it's scary. I know it feels selfish. I know you've been told your whole life that good people put others first. But you can't give from an empty cup. And you can't love others if you don't even know yourself. I'm 84 years old. I have maybe a few years left if I'm lucky. And I'm spending them trying to figure out who I am. I'm reading the books I always wanted to read. I'm writing the stories I never let myself write. I'm eating food I actually like, not food other people prefer. I'm saying no. I'm disagreeing. I'm letting people be disappointed. And you know what? Some people don't like it. My kids think I'm becoming difficult. My remaining friends think I'm changing. I'm not changing. I'm finally showing up. I wasted 84 years. You don't have to. Look in the mirror. Do you recognize yourself? Or are you staring at a mask you've been wearing so long you forgot it wasn't your face? Because one day you'll be my age, and you'll look back at all the years you spent being what others needed, and you'll realize that the only person you never made happy was yourself. And by then, it'll be too late to get those years back. I'm telling you this now while you still have time, while you can still choose differently. Be yourself, the real you, the messy, complicated, imperfect you. Let people see you. Let them disagree with you. Let them be disappointed. Let them walk away if that's what they need to do. Because the people who stay, those are your people, and they're the only ones who matter. I never had that. I never let anyone close enough to see the real me. And now I'm sitting in an empty house holding journals full of a life I never lived, staring at a stranger in the mirror. Don't let that be you. You think you have time. You don't. You think people will love you more if you just keep giving. They won't. You think being yourself is selfish. It's not. It's the only honest thing you can do. I'm 84 years old, and I just met myself for the first time. Don't wait as long as I did.